Hey, it's Karina, your virtual health coach, and I just wanted to make a little video today about leveling up your smoothie game. So whether we're talking about just making your smoothie healthier or making your smoothie more waistline friendly or weight loss friendly, all I want to talk about today are tips you can apply right now to your smoothies, your smoothie bowls, your nice cream, and even your soups, sauces, and other things that you might be making in your blender. But before we begin, I would love for you to chime in the comments and let me know how many times a week are you drinking smoothies. If you want to also let me know whether or not you're making smoothies yourself at home or you just go to the juice bar or smoothie bar, I would really love to get an idea of how frequently you're consuming smoothies right now, and any questions or topic requests that you might have, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. So let's dive right in. Tip number 1 is what I call the slow sugar trifecta. Now, a lot of people have a concern about eating fruit or eating smoothies because of the amount of sugar that they contain. Now, before I get into this, I just want to mention that when you are eating fruit, yes, it does contain sugar, but it also contains a huge amount of other nutrients that make that piece of fruit like a piece of gold for your body. So even though it does contain some sugar, it also contains so many other nutrients that I still consider it a healthy food. And I encourage people to eat more fruit and eat more smoothies. So the slow sugar trifecta is all about slowing down how quickly that sugar hits our bloodstream and basically reducing what they call the glycemic load, or the collective blood sugar boosting effect of the meal that you're eating. So the slow sugar trifecta is fiber, fats, and protein. And suffice it to say, when you add fiber, fats, or protein to something you're eating that contains sugar, it's actually going to slow down how quickly your body breaks down that sugar and how quickly that sugar spikes up your blood sugar, or the amount of blood sugar spike that you're going to get from that meal or smoothie altogether. So let's talk about some examples. One of the easiest things is adding nuts. So nuts actually contain the full slow sugar trifecta: fiber, fats, and protein. So a couple of examples I could show you here would be peanut butter. Now, technically, peanuts are not a nut, they are a legume, but suffice it to say, they still give us that slow sugar trifecta. Another example of a more traditional actual nut would be walnuts, cashews, almonds, which are one of your highest protein, lowest fat nuts. So anything that you're either using almond butter or actually even just using the nuts themselves and adding a little bit of liquid is going to slow down the sugar in what you're eating and make that a much healthier and blood sugar friendly meal or snack. Most of us know by now that healthy fats are a great thing to consume. And within this little tip, knowing that those healthy fats also slow down the blood sugar spike. So examples would be avocados, full-fat dairy products. This is a point that I make a lot, but I think it's really important because we see non-fat yogurt, non-fat milk all the time. If you're going to eat dairy products, you really need to have the full-fat version. Not only because it's easier for your body to digest, because it hasn't had things removed from it, also the fats that are in that food and the enzymes associated with them help your body digest the protein. So if you're having non-fat yogurt and non-fat milk, you're not doing yourself any favors. Those fats also will help to fill you up and satiate your hunger longer. My next example is seeds. And seeds are awesome because they literally contain the slow sugar trifecta of fiber, fats, and protein, especially those omega-3 fatty acids that most of us are trying to add more into our diet. So I have here some chia seeds and some hemp seeds. And you could also use pumpkin seeds or pepitas, sunflower seeds, or really anything. Seeds are incredibly nutrient dense because they're getting ready to become an entire plant. So the amount of nutrition contained within a seed is really remarkable. They're also very, very easy to add to just about anything, especially smoothies. I also just want to show you that if you put your chia seeds into some water or almond milk or anything else, they'll actually kind of take on this thick pudding-like consistency, which is great on its own to eat or to add to your smoothie to add a little bit more of that creamy texture with your chia seeds. Before we move on to the next tip, I do just want to mention protein powders, because obviously that would be a very easy way to add additional protein. Now, a lot of protein powders on the market are highly processed. Many are actually even contaminated with heavy metals, and I just really encourage you to look for a healthy protein powder if you're gonna do that. My personal favorite one is this Ka'Chava. It contains a lot of other healthy ingredients too, so it's not just a protein isolate like most of the protein powders out there. So before we move on to tip number 2, I do want to tell you about my sponsor for this video, Clean Blend. This is an incredibly high-powered 3-horsepower blender that will replace 9 different appliances. You can use it to make everything from soups, smoothies, smoothie bowls, nice cream, what I collectively like to call blendies, things that you make in a blender. They even send you this little mesh bag so that you can make your own almond milk, juices, and so many other healthy recipes. So my second tip, and this probably goes without saying, is to just keep adding more nutrients into your smoothie, but I want to give you a couple of examples, the things I like to add to my smoothies. So we already talked about adding hemp seeds or chia seeds. In addition to the fiber, fats, and protein, they also are incredibly nutrient dense, great things to add. I also have right here some cacao nibs. So when you have the raw cacao nibs, they haven't been processed, they're in their natural state. Not only do they contain a lot of different nutrients and different minerals, but that fiber in the cacao bean also, once again, adds to that slow sugar trifecta we were talking about at the beginning. We could also talk about different herbs and spices. So to take cinnamon, for example, cinnamon is fantastic because it actually helps to moderate the blood sugar response. So again, coming back to that idea of just slowing down the blood sugar and also helping that smoothie to satiate your hunger for a long period of time. Anything that slows the sugar, like cinnamon, is gonna be a great thing to help in that department. And I'm actually going to even show you in my next video my favorite smoothie, the apple pie smoothie, which includes apples and cinnamon, both of which help to moderate and slow the blood sugar response, making it a really good healthy smoothie and even a good smoothie for weight loss. Another great example of nutrient density that you can add to your foods is aloe vera gel. Aloe is very anti-inflammatory, and especially if you live in a really hot climate, drinking aloe is fantastic. It's also really, really good for your skin. So lots of benefits come when we start to add aloe to either our beverages or to our smoothies. Another great way to sneak more nutrients into your smoothie is to use something like coconut water instead of water in your smoothie. So coconut water does add a little bit of additional sweetness itself, but it contains so many electrolytes and other minerals that, again, in my opinion, it makes it okay to have that sugar. I should also just throw out there that when you're eating healthy sources of sweetness that come from things like coconuts and fruit, it's actually going to help reduce your sugar cravings for other types of sugar. And if you're replacing your candy or your junk food or your refined carbohydrates with fruit and coconut water, then that is a super, super healthy thing to do. And that brings us to my last tip, which is about adding more greens to your smoothie. And when it comes to the health benefits of a smoothie, the more vegetables that you're adding is really where we get the healthier aspects. Okay, so if it's just fruit, it's not nearly as healthy as if we throw in some vegetables. One great little fact is that the bitter taste that you taste in kale, arugula, or really any fruit, any vegetable, that bitterness is actually coming from the antioxidants. So the more bitter something tastes, actually the more healthy that it is for you. So sometimes that can be unpleasant. Add it to your smoothies and then you really don't even have to taste it at all. So you could use spinach, kale, lettuce, broccoli. Actually, broccoli and peanut butter in a smoothie taste really good together. Kind of surprising, but super healthy. Or sometimes I like to go really simple and just add something like this powdered wheatgrass juice. So easy, so nutrient dense, and once you're adding it within the context of your delightful fruit smoothie, sometimes you won't even be able to taste it at all. One last little tip I want to throw in is to add lemon anytime you're using dark leafy greens in your smoothie. A little bit of citrus, so lemon or lime, actually helps your body to digest those greens a little bit better. So, little great tip there. And I also love the flavor that a little bit of lemon will add too. So my last little bonus tip, as we're talking about adding more greens or things that might be a little bitter to the smoothie, is to talk about how we sweeten our smoothie. And I just encourage you to use a natural whole food source of sweetness. So as an example, we could talk about honey. We could also talk about 100% pure maple syrup. And it is important that you look for pure maple syrup and not just a corn syrup that has a little maple flavor added. When you're eating these natural sources of sweetness, you're actually getting a bunch of nutrients from them as well that you would not get if you were just adding sugar or something like that to your smoothie. Another great example I don't have here to show you is to add a date to your smoothie. Great natural whole food source of sweetness. Thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I would love to know any thoughts that you have, questions you have, or if there's any healthy ingredients that I didn't mention in this video, you can let me know those as well. I want to send a big thank you to Clean Blend for sending me this incredible blender. And I hope that you will join me in my next video where I will talk about the apple pie smoothie. And I've got some other great stuff in store for you as well. So be sure to subscribe, click that notification bell, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.